Interdimensional Meditation Astral Travel Report for March 19th. The Neptune and Sun conjunction creates irreversible 5D consciousness shift. Welcome back to the Michael Denney YouTube channel. Disclosure is coming. Open contact is already here. Welcome back. All right, so last night, which was Wednesday, March 19th, we did another live guided interdimensional meditation, which we do every Wednesday and Saturday, streamed for free on this channel. If you aren't able to make the live stream guided meditations, you can go to the live section and watch the archived versions that are all available. All right, so let's talk about this. So, Neptune and Sun conjunction creates irreversible 5D consciousness shift. So, we've got a lot of things going on, as you know. We have a eclipse that is coming in on the 31st of this month. And you can see, and this is for that date, so this is a Vedic astrological chart, in case you're not familiar with it. And up there in the left corner, you can see almost every single one of the planets is smashed together in the sign of Pisces, and it is aspecting down here where you see Ketu is in Virgo. You have Jupiter and Mars, and they are also aspecting this house. And this is where the eclipse will also be happening while all this stuff is going on. So this is huge. And as we've talked about in other videos, you can watch, this is potentially completely, totally transformative of the world on every single level. Now, as I'm sitting here making this video, I'm feeling huge amounts of energy inside of me, and if I didn't know what was going on, I would think perhaps I was having some kind of emotional breakdown, because the emotional intensity is very powerful. And I'm finding myself worrying about nonsensical 3D things. Now, this just sort of hit me about an hour or so ago, which leads me to believe that we've been hit with some solar radiation, which I heard was perhaps going to be hitting right about now. So I'm going to make that conclusion, because that's one of the things that happens when we get a lot of solar radiation hitting the Earth. One of the physical responses, emotional responses, is to feel a lot of anxiety and to obsess over nonsense and want to pick fights. And right now I'm wanting to pick fights with the IRS and over piddly little nothingness. So we have going on right now, again, if you look here at this eclipse, the Sun and Neptune right now are completely conjunct. Now in this, because this is the 31st, you can see the Sun has moved out of conjunction. It's at 15 degrees and Neptune is at 5 degrees. But right now, when we did this video last night, Sun and Neptune were conjunct exactly at 5 degrees. So what does that mean? We're going to talk about that. But just in case any of you are having a lot of intense emotions, just know that this is in fact what people like to call ascension symptoms. I like to call them resistance symptoms. And so it's important to keep your focus, do your practices so that you keep your sanity. Let's take a look and see, again, what I'm going to give you is an interdimensional meditation astral travel report from last night's meditation. This is what I remember. Please put in the comments what you remember. I'm sure there are things that happened that I got wrong, I'm remembering wrong, and or I just didn't remember, because I go so deep into a meditative state, I don't always remember all of the details. So I'd love to hear your personal experience, and if there were other things that I led us on, please remind us in the comments below. So let's take a look at what happened here. So this is my astral report for interdimensional meditations for March 19th, Neptune 5D consciousness shift. So we went to the center of Earth and grabbed energy string. Now, before I get into that, before we did the meditation, I often, not always, but almost every time, I will check in, go out and check in with my friends and ask for their help and ask for their guidance. And I was actually given instructions because I was thinking about what I knew what was going on, the conjunction of Neptune and Sun. And I was given the encouragement to, yes, go to Neptune and experience that, see what's going on there. And what ended up happening was completely spontaneous and unscripted. I had the ideas of getting strings of energy and pulling it around the cosmos was not something that had entered my mind. Again, as always, I was following what was happening intuitively for me at that time. So the first thing that we did that I remember is that we went to the center of the Earth after we did the Hool breath and got connected, and we grabbed an energy string directly from the Earth. Then we went further down. We dropped further down beyond Earth all the way down to the lowest dimension, which was Naga Loka. And we tied the Earth energy string to a crystal. So we got down to Naga Loka, and what I saw was this giant, crystal point. If we were standing in front of it, it would have been hundreds of feet tall. And around at the base were smaller, crystal points. So the center was a quartz crystal, a clear quartz crystal, and all the other crystals around it were different colors. And so I was drawn to one that had like a pinkish purple hue to it. And if you remember, I asked you to ask it what its power was, what it represents. And then I can't remember, some other things may have happened about putting the energy inside of us, or I can't remember. I remember that we took the energy string that we had from the center of the Earth and we tied it around. And then now there was a connection, a direct connection from Naga Loka and this energy directly to the center of planet Earth, so that she could benefit from this karmic shifting energy. Okay, this is what I remember from that. Okay, let's see. After that, we took the crystal energy, up through Earth. So then after we took that energy, we tied off the Earth energy onto this crystal in Naga Loka. Now I'm remembering, we took an energy string from that specific energy we were working with, and we went back up through planet Earth. And I can't remember if we tied it off there again or not. I don't remember. We may have. You can refresh my memory. And then we took the crystal energy string up through the Earth, and then we went out of Earth's atmosphere and we invited all of the light beings to join us, as we do almost every time. We then took these combined energy strings through the Sun to Neptune. So this is where things started getting interesting. So we have these energy strings that we have connected to the Earth and to Naga Loka. I think while we were there, I think we went up to the highest realm. I'm barely remembering it now. We went up to the highest, point in the dimensional egg. Naga Loka is at the bottom and Shiva and the highest heaven is up at the top. And we went all the way up there, and I can't remember what happened. I think maybe I said, communicate with Shiva. I don't remember what happened. I don't know if we grabbed an energy string from him or not. I don't remember. Probably did. And then we came back down to the earth and then came out of our bodies. So I remember that now. Whoops. And so we took the combined energy strings through the sun to Neptune. So we have these energies that we have from Earth and from Nagaloka and perhaps from Shiva, the highest heavens. And we then went and we shot through the sun. And because the sun and Neptune were exactly conjunct, that meant we were on a direct course towards Neptune. So what I find interesting in hindsight is that we didn't go in there and tie the energy off to the sun and then take the sun's energy. No, we took it straight through the sun and then we went directly to Neptune. And I can't remember exactly what happened after that, other than I believe we communicated with some beings and we connected to Neptune's energy. As I'm talking, I'm feeling the energy come up. We did something powerful there, connecting to Neptune and connecting that energy. And so why did I pick Neptune? Well, I picked Neptune basically because I felt a drive to do it. I don't know a lot about Neptune because Neptune is not talked about very often in Vedic astrology because they don't deal with the outer planets very often. And so what I've come to understand about Neptune is that Neptune has to do with the unconscious mind. It has to do with our deepest unconscious connections, and I believe has a very spiritual nature to it as well. And another thing I find interesting here, so I represented it in this picture. So Neptune is usually represented as this deep blue, like ocean-colored planet, but in reality, its color is almost identical to Uranus. And so what I found interesting was, again, as I'm doing this meditation, I'm like, I don't know what Neptune looks like. But what I saw was this pearlescent planet. And in my head, I'm going, I think that's Uranus. Am I getting this wrong? But I went with what was put before me. And interestingly enough, afterwards, I looked it up and I found out that, yes, we've been taught that Neptune is this deep, dark blue planet, but in reality, the color of it is almost identical to Uranus, which is like a pearl. It looks like a big pearlescent planet. And so I went, oh, interesting. So my instincts were right. This is another one of those pieces of evidence that lets me know, we're not making this up. We're getting this information from another reality, and so I do my best to listen as best I can. All right, so after going through the sun to Neptune, we spoke to Neptune beings and took Neptunian string back through the sun. So once we went to Neptune and connected to that energy, which is a spiritual energy of transformation of consciousness, and whatever communications, if you remember what you were told or what you saw, put it in the comments here. Again, I get so deep into this, I don't know how much I'm actually remembering. And then we turned around and we went back through the sun. So we're like taking a needle and threading the sun this way and threading it that way. So this energy is going to. So the sun is this power source that's going to take this energy and shoot it back towards the earth. And so that's what we did. We took it back through the sun. And then we created a lens to shift light from the sun and Neptune to focus on Earth. And so what I saw when I first went out there, before we even did the meditation, and I asked, for help from the light beings, the first thing that I saw was that what Neptune and sun were doing is that Neptune was connecting to the sun and creating this lens. So you have this energy that comes directly from the sun, which is pure consciousness. pure higher dimensional awareness. This is what the sun is. And then Neptune was acting like a lens that was focusing this energy and increasing it. In other words, it's like when you look through a magnifying glass, it distorts what you're looking at, and you pull the magnifying glass away and you see it, as it really is. So Neptune was creating a lens that was warping and distorting the energy towards conscious awakening, if that makes any sense. So we then created this lens, and then what I remember is, I can't remember exactly where we were. If I remember right, correct me if I'm wrong. We went in between the sun and the lens, and we, as this energy was coming from the sun, connected to all of these other places we had just been, we then chanted the Huar breath and sent it through this lens we were creating, which was focused on conscious awakening. So we chanted the Huar with focus and intent to awaken consciousness, and then, okay, so that's what I remember. I remember that we went and we started creating the earth. I barely remember it because at this point in the meditation, my frequency is so high. It's very hard for me to remember everything. I remember what it feels like, which is extremely powerful and blissful, but I don't always remember the details. But we created the new earth. Don't remember much more after that. Put in the comments what you remember I said and what we did. And and then so we ended the meditation, and then what happened was, I, again, as always, I'm trying to just sort of get myself back into normal reality here, having gone through all that, and I do what I do just to try and get back into this, my human self, and. I wanted to put the trash outside because I knew that the trash people were coming this morning, and so before I forgot and fell asleep, I went and took the trash and I brought it outside and I dropped it at the edge of the street, and I can't remember what I was thinking. I was thinking something about some of my own personal transformation that I had been experiencing that day. And I turned back to go back towards the house, and sure enough, I saw. Now, bear in mind, I'm looking between the roofs of houses. I can't see the whole sky, but just right in my line of sight, I see this light moving very fast down towards Earth. And I knew exactly what I was seeing. I was seeing an extraterrestrial light ship that was getting my attention. And so this hasn't happened in a long time, and so it let me know that we had done something very powerful. So it was obvious that I wasn't looking at a natural phenomenon. I wasn't looking at a plane. I was looking at a higher dimensional light ship was getting my attention. And they can't do that, and bring attention to themselves. So they sometimes will pretend to be falling stars. Sometimes they'll even pretend to be planes, and then they'll transform into what they are, and then they'll switch back to a plane. But it was clear to me that this was a ship. It wasn't a falling star. Anybody looking at it would have known that it wasn't a falling star. But because it was going so fast and going down towards Earth at an angle, the average person might go, well, that must have been a falling star. But it wasn't. Definitely not. So just to make sure, I stopped, I closed my eyes, and I telepathically sent out the message, is that you? Meaning the ETs, and are you, telling me that, are you giving me the thumbs up about the meditation? And I immediately got the answer, yes. And I went back inside and I lay down and connected with them. We spoke for a little while. I don't remember what it was about. It wasn't anything deep. It was really basically, you did it. It was amazing what you just did. I've gotten to the point where I just get so used to those, grandiose, positive interactions that I don't know. I don't really deal with them anymore. I experience them. I enjoy the communication, but I don't hang on to it. I just let it go. But it was something along those lines of, you have no idea what you just accomplished, that kind of thing. So we accomplished something big, and the fact that the light ship appeared so that I could see it and know that we had accomplished something, I took that to mean something quite special. Okay, so that's my astral report. So please put in the comments below what you experienced during the meditation, what you've experienced since, if there was any experiences that you had with the light beings, any communications, things that I forgot. Please feel free to put all of that into the comment section. So I encourage everybody, continue. So remember, I have a challenge going on this channel. And that channel was originally to challenge 20 of you to subscribe here to the thunderwizard.com Patreon subscription site at the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong or above. So far, I've gotten 4 or 5 of you, so let's say we've got 15 more. So I need 15 more of you to take up the challenge. This isn't just for me. This is for all of you who have been watching the channel and haven't taken any actions on the things that I teach. You only know what you see in the videos, and great, you're subscribed to the channel, you watch the video for free, you go to the interdimensional meditations. I'm happy, I'm grateful that you're here. Take it a step further for yourself. Find out what it is I'm talking about, just to give you an idea of other people's experience who actually subscribe to the lightning qigong and other things, what they experience. I'm just going to read. I'm going down here looking for somebody who recently left a personal experience. And hopefully I'm going to see it here in a second. Am I going to find it here? Maybe not. Here it is. This person says, as someone who has practiced Qigong, Kundalini Yoga, and Pranayama for well over a decade, I can vouch for his lightning Qigong and the 90-day challenge. Well worth the money. $55 a month. It's nothing. My body, she goes on to say, my body just stopped craving any unhealthy food. I gave up bread, sugar, several cups of coffee a day, and it was easy. I simply didn't want any of it. All right, so there you go. This is worth it. If you haven't experienced it, go for it. And there's a bunch of other things that you can go to the shop and find things at the shop. Working with me personally is probably the most powerful thing you can do. Everybody that works with me and follows my suggestions to the letter, all of them have transformed their lives massively. So I encourage you all to do that. I thank you all for being here. I thank you all for doing the meditation. And we've got another one, of course, coming up in a couple days here on Saturday. Please watch what's happening with yourself. Don't take anything too seriously. Don't do what I wanted to do today, which was to yell at the accountant and call up the IRS and say all kinds of threatening things. Instead, work on yourself, accept things where they are, and focus your intentions on where you want to be, and know that the intensity that you're feeling is simply your third dimensional self-protection mechanism trying to stay within the narrative, and it's frightened of going to 5D. It means that you are ascending. One of the things I tell myself when I feel this amount of anxiety is I will repeat to myself, I am ascending. I am ascending. So do all of that. If you want more, thunderwizard.com, michaeldenney.org. If you want a mantra to get you through this, I recommend that. Go to astrology.thunderwizard.com. That's it, my friends. I love you all. Please be very good to yourselves, and I will see you all very soon.